Mercedes is definitely not satisfied with how they spent the 3 days in Bahrain, and they will be looking to improve their pace at the upcoming race weekend. However, things in Formula One are much easier said than done. And with that in mind, the Brackley-based squad will have some difficulty navigating things in their own way, as acknowledged by Wolff and Elliott themselves. But the team has also opened up on the no-pod sidepod design and the rumors that a plan B is sitting in the garage. Will they manage to have the update ready for the first race in Bahrain? Let's find out. Mercedes had the opportunity to meet and greet the W14 in person and more importantly on the track on Thursday, Friday and Saturday. While the team has made massive strides in areas that presented themselves as huge challenges in 2022, there's definitely room for improvement, or as Hamilton said, a mountain to climb if Mercedes wants to see itself in competition with Ferrari and Red Bull. Now, we know how hard it is for a team to actually implement an upgrade on the car and make it work in synergy with the rest of the engineering marvel, so this is why Mercedes will have to think twice before they go on any further with the first upgrade of the season. What is truly shocking is the fact that Mercedes is already thinking in terms of upgrading the car after just 3 days of pre-testing when they haven't even really witnessed the real pace of it. And what they have planned initially and what has been reported by Sky Sports regarding a Plan B project, very similar to Ferrari and Red Bull in terms of design, has been denied by Elliott. But before we go into Mercedes' denial of their Plan B project and what they are planning to upgrade early in the season, I want to give you today's sponsor, PIA VPN. A big shout out. If you don't know what a VPN is, then you definitely should, because nowadays you never know who might be watching what you do online. Even Sky Sports knows your location, and that means you can't watch their F1 content when you're outside the broadcasting. But that's where Private Internet Access VPN, also known as PIA VPN, comes in handy. PIA VPN hides your IP address and protects your internet connection by using an encrypted tunnel. With just one click, you can simply switch your location to the UK and you're good to go. But there's more, because Netflix, YouTube, Disney, Hulu and HBO Go are also geo-blocking their content based on your location. But with PIA VPN, you can just pick one of its servers in 84 countries and all 50 US states and open another world of content. Not only does switching your location come in handy, online privacy is also a big issue nowadays, and PIA is the best value for money tool that you can have when it comes to digital privacy. It shields your digital life from the eyes of hackers, internet service providers, and other parties that can view your personal data. PIA VPN is one of the best VPNs on the market, with more than 30 million downloads. It's available for all platforms, and with only one subscription, you can protect up to 10 devices. Grab your chance right now to get PIA VPN with 83% discount plus 4 extra free months by using the link piavpn.com/gpculture. Link in the description below. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee and 24/7 customer support, so it's risk-free. Now, let's get back to the video. Mercedes isn't planning to go through with Plan B, which was basically a whole different car with a concept very similar to Red Bull and Ferrari, and they're going to upgrade the no-pod sidepod design even further. This decision itself has been very questionable from day one, especially coming from Lewis Hamilton, who isn't a particular fan of the design itself. However, Wolff and Russell are firm believers that the team isn't bleeding performance out of this design, and it seems like the team is ready to take the no-pod sidepod design to the next step. This is why Wolff spoke about the 2023 plans of the team throughout the pre-testing in Bahrain when he hinted about the potential sidepod change at the beginning of the season. When talking about it, he said, "We kept staying with the narrow sidepod as it is, but you could well see some development from now on that could be coming with the upgrades, and sidepods will change. Not very soon, but we're looking at solutions. But it's not a core fundamental performance part as far as we judge." It's worth mentioning that the team has already changed the sidepod design compared to 2022, with the sidepods being further narrowed down. But what is the team going to do in the first couple of weeks once the season starts? Elliott spoke about the bodywork update, and while he said that it will look different, he denied the Plan B thing, further adding, "So, there's a bodywork update coming and it will look different. It won't look like somebody else's, it will look like an evolution of ours." When asked about the concept of the update and whether it will be similar to Red Bull, Elliott said, "It's not in our current plans." It's obvious that Mercedes needs to find pace right away because the last thing they want is to find themselves up against the wall compared to Ferrari and Red Bull. That is exactly what happened in the 2022 season, and it was the first time that Mercedes were actually struggling with their car in the pre-season and throughout the entire course of the season. This is why we cannot take the statements from Hamilton and Wolff for granted, as they're evidently struggling yet again with the drag and balance issues on the W14. Hamilton believes that these are problems that will come yet again in the 2023 season, labeling them underlying ones. Furthermore, the Brit had compared the W14 with the W13, and while he hasn't been particularly happy about the couple of things that he witnessed in the first 3 days of the car, he is still aware that the car is in a much better place compared to 2022, something that he spoke about, with him further adding, "Some of the balance limitations that we had last year are present. We're working through them, but I'm really proud of everyone in the team for continuing to remain positive after a tough year last year, doing amazing through the winter for us to drive and have the mileage that we've had. Right now, for example, the bouncing that we had has pretty much gone, so that's a huge step for us. It's nice to drive without the bouncing for once, but there are still some underlying things that we're working through." It goes without saying that the W14 not bouncing is a huge improvement for the team and both drivers, but whether this is enough to beat Ferrari and Red Bull is a huge unknown. After all, we've seen a Red Bull that wasn't caught by anyone on the grid, and the fact that teams like Aston Martin set better times than Mercedes should be enough to ring the alarm bells back in Brackley. This could be the sole facilitator when it comes to the team actually bringing an upgrade as early as in the first couple of races this season. Because if there is one thing that Mercedes learned in 2022, it's that they do not have time to chip-chap and waste time on development. Sure, they have much more time to spend in aerodynamic facilities than Red Bull and Ferrari, but that means nothing if you don't have a car capable of dominating the grid. With Elliott denying that the concept will change drastically with the first upgrade, the fans and the experts are now wondering what more could be done with the no-pod sidepod design. Mercedes already took it up a notch by making it more aggressive, and the fact that they're the only team on the grid with this design speaks for itself. The last thing that Mercedes would want to witness in the first couple of races is them being outperformed by Aston Martin, something that Ted Kravitz believes can happen throughout the entire course of the season. The Sky F1 pundit spoke about this matter, and he wasn't particularly happy with what he saw from Hamilton and Russell throughout the Bahrain pre-test. Furthermore, he emphasized that every team on the grid is concerned about Aston Martin's progress, with Newey being the most vocal, claiming that Aston Martin is a threat to Red Bull itself. With this in mind, one couldn't be more curious about what Mercedes plans to upgrade on their sidepod design. But whatever it is, it seems like the team has a lot of trust in the innovative design as they're pushing it further and further. What do you think about Mercedes upgrading the sidepods? Let us know in the comments below.